People get worried or confused, they buy gold or silver. And that's happening again. This has been going on for a few thousand years, and gold and silver have always had an attraction to people throughout history. I mean, remember Jesus Christ? He was sold for 30 pieces of silver because silver was the money then. Silver was the valuable asset then. And those sorts of things are starting to happen again. And somebody is buying gold and silver because they see that problems are coming. And I say, I bought a little more silver yesterday.
Before we continue to discuss this, please subscribe to our channel and activate the bell icon for timely updates. Join our WhatsApp channel for real-time updates, breaking news, and expert predictions on gold, silver, and financial markets. Link in the description or pinned comment. Stay ahead of the curve. Don't miss out.
A lot of U.S. dollars, not because it's a sound currency, but because I see some turmoil coming down the road. And in times like that, people look for a safe haven. History says that people think the dollar's a safe haven. It's not, but people think it is. So I own U.S. dollars. I hope when the time comes, I'm smart enough to sell my dollars. Now, Kai, what you need to do is say to me, okay, when you sell your dollars, where are you going to put your money? And my answer to you is, I don't know. But one of the few times in my life, I don't know where to put my money. I don't see a competing currency for the U.S. dollar yet, and I'm trying to find it. If you know, don't announce it out loud, please. Send me a private email because I'm trying to figure out where to put the money if and when I sell my U.S. dollars. Well, I own silver, I own gold, and I hope I'm smart enough to buy. I think I bought some more silver yesterday. I hope I'm smart enough to buy more of them if they go down. Yes, I own them, but I don't see at this stage of history to sell all my assets and put it into gold and silver. Those days may come, but I don't see them yet. To answer your question, I don't know yet. Yes, maybe bonds, but I don't want to own bonds. Inflation is going to come back and bonds will go down a lot. Driving it higher is gigantic money printing all over the world in the last few months, years. And that has continued. Yes, they've cut back the money printing in some places temporarily. But Kai, I mean, I read the same newspapers you do. I see that people all over the world continue to print a lot of money. And historically, that always eventually leads to more inflation. And if you look at the debt situation in the U.S., I mean, it is really startling. It's more than startling. It's frightening. I don't know how the debt could possibly have gotten so high, and it continues to go higher. Nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. So the debt situation is part and parcel of this problem, and it's getting worse. I mean, the debt in the U.S. is unbelievable, and has certainly never happened in history.
No, absolutely. It is outrageously high, over 36 trillion. Interest payments are over $1 trillion. Oh,
When you say 36 trillion, that's what's recorded. That's the own balance sheet. But there's a gigantic amount of off-balance sheet debt. I mean, over 100 trillion. I mean, the numbers just cannot be comprehended. And nobody seems to. First of all, Washington doesn't even count them. They report the 36 trillion or whatever the number is, but they don't report the 136 trillion with all the off-balance sheet numbers. People get worried or confused, they buy gold or silver, and that's happening again. This has been going on for a few thousand years, and gold and silver have always had an attraction to people throughout history. I mean, remember Jesus Christ? He was sold for 30 pieces of silver because silver was the money then. Silver was the valuable asset then. And those sorts of things are starting to happen again. And somebody is buying gold and silver because they see that problems are coming. And I say, I bought a little more silver yesterday. Maybe not this month, but certainly this decade. There's no question about that, if not before. I mean, all over the world, central banks are printing money. All over the world, governments are running up debt. I'm not the only person who knows that. More and more people are realizing we better do something. It's partially because silver is not on everybody's mind the way gold is. I mean, if you turn on the TV, you open the newspaper, the first thing you read about is gold, because that's historically, traditionally, the safe haven. As far as I can see, that's the only reason now that it's not both, and that both aren't going up. But silver certainly moved up. It hasn't moved up as much as gold. And if I were going to buy one today, I'd buy more silver, but I would buy more of both before this is over. Has a chance to succeed. The numbers are overwhelming. The smartest guy I mean, whoever you come up with is going to have problems dealing with the U.S. debt situation. This is not talking about Scott. This is talking about anybody and everybody, because the numbers are staggering and overwhelming. No country has ever had a situation like this, and I don't know what's going to happen. 100 years ago, it was Britain, and people said, oh, don't worry, the British pound is the gold standard for currencies. Believe it or not, 50 years later, 1976, Britain was bankrupt. They went from number one in 1925 or whatever that was to totally bankrupt in 1976, bailed out by the IMF. It has happened before in history, often, and it's going to happen again. I don't like saying it, but I can see what's coming. It's still going on. But I think I see signs that we're coming to an end. Whether I see it or not doesn't matter. I know that this economy will slow down somewhere along the line. I know that historically we're getting there already. And when it happens, it's going to be terrible because the debt is so unbelievably high now. And we're all going to scream. As far as I can see, China is going to be the most important country in the 21st century. It already is. In some sectors, it's happening. And yes, this has happened often in history. 100 years ago, it was Britain, and then it became the U.S. Unfortunately, for us, I think it's now changing again. And the world is now moving to a Chinese-centric economy. But I repeat, Kai, this has happened many times in history. It's certainly something to be concerned about or aware of, but it has happened often. And I hope we all live long enough to see it happen many times in history. 10 years up, that's a deep statement. If we were sitting here in 1954, we would have looked ahead and said, Britain is coming to the end. And it was. There's no question. We can look back and know that Britain was at the end of the road and things were changing. But did the world, you and I both continue to be alive? Britain continued to exist? The world continued? Yes. Britain lost its status. The U.S. is going to lose its status. But will we still go to Paris for holidays? Will we still do things that we did before? Yes. Yes, some of us will still continue to prosper. So I hope you and I are two of those people.
Gold and silver are gaining momentum as economic conditions push more investors towards safe haven assets, setting the stage for a potential breakout that could reshape the market. Silver, which has spent decades in consolidation, is approaching a crucial price range between $35 and $37, beyond which resistance becomes minimal until it nears the long-awaited $50 mark. A decisive move past this level could trigger one of the most significant breakouts in history, reinforcing silver's appeal as an undervalued asset with immense upside potential. Meanwhile, gold continues to assert itself as a preferred alternative to traditional investments, with capital shifting away from stocks and bonds at an accelerating pace. That's it for today.